Dr. Sam Berne, my optometrist from Santa Fe, who also studied with my mentor, Dr. Parcels. We have a lot in common. Welcome, my good friend.
Thank you, Ann Louise. It's great to connect with you again.
I remember you were a major student of Dr. Parcels. Would you share a little bit with the audience?
Well, Dr. Parcells, my goodness, she came to my wedding and I think she was 104 at that point, but I met her because I needed to find somebody to interview for my first book, Creating Your Personal Vision. And I called her up, and she had just moved to Sapio, New Mexico, the retreat center out there. And she took one look at me and she said, "You're not very healthy." And I said, "I feel like I'm really healthy." She said, "No, your parathyroid's off and you've got parasites and all this kind of stuff." So anyways, I ended up becoming a student of hers. We became very, very close. And so I follow a lot of her nutritional principles to this day. And I love her. She's just really great.
You know, Dr. Sam, she was my original mentor back in 1974, and she came to my husband's 40th birthday party and then died when she was 106. So you shared the two last years of her life. She
Yes,
left quite a legacy. Did you
she
do any
did.
of her alternative work?
I still do, yes. I love her alternative work. And to this day, she used to, I remember this one thing she said to me. She said, if you want to heal disease, clean up the inner environment, meaning the internal vibration of yourself. And I tell that to people all the time, that it's an inside job. And yeah, the way she knew about frequency and vibration was really amazing. She was
50 years ahead of her
Oh,
time.
yeah, at least. And it was really funny, she would have the government look at her and they'd come to her lectures and then they would leave and then she would really start the seminar. So it was, she kind of
but
figured it out.
but she used to locate missing persons for the government, for the FBI.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Well, she was a master at remote viewing and, understood the value of dowsing. And yeah, it was really an honor to meet her. And she's with me all the time. I really, she was one of my first mentors in New Mexico. So I still think about her often.
Wonderful. And you are now a thought leader in the field of behavioral holistic optometry. So tell
And
me what holistic optometry entails.
well, when you go for an eye exam, and you sit in that dark room and the doctor is flipping the lenses, which is clear, one or two, and you have no idea how to answer that, and you're reading the distance eye chart, that's your eyesight. That's eyeballs, glasses. And vision is the eye brain body connection. And the eyes originate from the brain. It's the only part of the brain that sits outside the cranial vault. And yet, because the eyes are brain tissue, we have a neuroplasticity capability. So, my mission has been to help people improve their vision through physical eye therapy exercises, nutrition, color therapy, other alternative therapies. So, in behavioral developmental optometry, we're looking at the eyes as an interrelated and interconnected part of the body. And we're not separating it out and just treating symptoms. And that's what traditional eye care does. It's treating symptoms through surgery and drugs, giving glasses, stronger lenses every year. I have found that people, even in their 70s, 80s, I just had a lady, 85, has reversed her cataracts through
Wow.
natural methods. And the guy who's 90 who stopped getting injections for wet macular degeneration because the doctor said you don't need it anymore. So just because you're a certain age, you don't have to live out your doctor's diagnosis. I would say that's my tagline.
So, do you see an increase in this day and time with cataracts or glaucoma or macular degeneration? Is there any particular pattern of health you're noting?
Well, in all of these cases, they're growing by epidemic proportions. If we take macular degeneration, that's very scary because you lose the center part of your vision. You can't drive anymore. You're not independent. You can't read. And it has to do with oxidative stress that's accumulating in the center part of the retina, the macula. And there's some really proactive things you can do to avoid that or at least slow down the progression. In cataracts, yeah, I mean, if you're over 65, 90% of people are developing cataracts, and it's a very safe surgery. But what if you could do some things to avoid developing cataracts? Well, you can. Glaucoma, the third leading cause of blindness, we call it the silent thief because it takes your peripheral vision. And you can get eye drops, pharmaceutical eye drops, or surgery, but there's really no way to work with the cause. Well, in glaucoma, in my practice, there's lots of things you can do to neutralize that. And then there's nearsightedness. Most people now are becoming nearsighted because of all the screen time we're using.
Oh, yes.
In the Asian population, millions and millions of people becoming more and more nearsighted every year. And then we've got the farsighted group over age 40 that are needing stronger bifocals and trifocals. So I would say there's been a degradation, which is great for my business because people come to see me and they want to improve their vision, and they're coming to the right place at that point.
Tell me where you're located.
Located in the high desert of Santa Fe, New Mexico, and been there over 30 years and still going strong in my private practice.
Can you do telemedicine through the internet?
Yes, we can do that anywhere in the world. I just gave somebody a session from Australia, and I'm working with somebody in Ireland, and of course then in the States, definitely counseling people. I also consult in Albuquerque at a place called Kid Power, and this is a wonderful institution that works with autistic kids, spectrum disorder kids. I've been consulting there for a long time, helping people, kids mostly with autism, to engage their eye, brain, body connection. So a lot of different irons in the fire, and things are going well.
So since COVID, have you seen any real patterns with the eyes? I'm seeing a lot of people with dry eye. Are you seeing something similar?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of different weird conditions that can't be explained, and they've been to, the regular doctors, and they can't figure it out. So let me go through the laundry list. Dry eye, cataracts, a lot of retinal vascular conditions like central retinal vein occlusion or glaucoma, and just kind of weird symptoms where people say, my peripheral vision is reducing, I'm starting to get double vision, and it's kind of unexplained. Fortunately, the things that I'm offering are helping, but definitely there's been an increase in these very strange eye conditions post-COVID.
So do you think the eyes are related to a particular organ? I know you're talking about the brain, but in Chinese medicine traditionally, I think the eyes are connected to is it the liver or the kidneys?
Well, both, liver, gallbladder. There's an interesting relationship going on that I'm seeing now that if we don't produce enough bile or we don't have enough bile, the gallbladder is being compromised, then we're not able to absorb our fat-soluble eye vitamins like vitamin A, lutein, and zeaxanthin. So if people improve their gallbladder or liver function, or they do bile salts, they absorb those fat-soluble vitamins better, and that helps dry eye, night vision, macular degeneration, and so on. So that's a nuance that I've discovered over the last couple years. But generally speaking, if you do a liver cleanse, your eyesight's probably going to get clearer. There are a lot of acupuncture meridians around the eyes and even on the eyelids. So there's a lot of things that you can do to improve your vision through improving the energetics of the body.
You make a very interesting point. We have a product from Unity called Bile Builder, and it is a combination of bile salt, which is a major degreaser. We support fat digestion, and it's particularly good for people that are missing a gallbladder or a faulty digestion. We have found that floaters disappear with Bile
Exactly.
Builder. So let me just put in a little commercial, choline. For those that don't have a gallbladder, who have faulty digestion or fatty liver, their eye condition improves, including floaters. So you just made a very, very good,
Yes,
interesting connection, and I'm just giving you a little commercial.
that's great. I'm so glad you're offering that product because,
It's good, and I'll tell you another thing we're finding, which doesn't have anything to do with the eyes. But when people are taking our bile builder, their hypothyroid improves.
uh-huh,
I'm finding that it increases metabolism. If you
wonderful.
don't have a gallbladder, you don't have the ability to digest the fatty acids from vitamins A and D and E and K,
Yeah,
but you also inhibit the ability of the thyroid to produce active thyroid hormone. So the body is interconnected, as you so beautifully know.
that's wonderful. Love it.
So there you go with the eyes. What do you do for dry eye particularly? Is there a vitamin, essential fatty acid you use? I'm finding that Maki is like a miracle cure.
Well, a new one that's come on the market, I don't know if you've heard of it, called sea buckthorn, omega
See
7.
buckthorn?
Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes.
works really,
I wrote about it 20 years ago. I'm
it
familiar.
works really well for dry eye. Obviously, omega 3 is also very good as well. Um, I think that having a healthy thyroid is also an important factor. Women that either have really high or low estrogen levels tend to have a higher incidence of dry eye. If you have adrenal fatigue or adrenal burnout, more chance for dry eye. Um, I think that what you said a few minutes ago about the gallbladder health and being able to absorb vitamin A is a huge uh, indicator on dry eye. And then, of course, screen time, because the blue light that's emitted from all digital devices is going to dry out our eyes. So, using some kind of blue protection, either on the screen or through glasses, can deflect some of that drying effect of what the chaotic blue light does to the eyes.
So if we were to come to you as a patient, take me through the steps of normal first consult.
Well, we have a very detailed history. We want to know a lot about what you eat, what your stress level is like. We ask a lot of questions about any visual symptoms you have, like skipping words, losing your place, double vision, falling asleep when reading. And then we ask more cognitive questions about your memory, your balance, your orientation. Obviously, if you've had any traumas, we want to know about that. I'm an expert at working with traumatic brain injury and eyes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We can talk about that story in a little bit.
We need to. I'm interested.
And then we get the records from from the other doctors and scans and things like that, so that have the whole picture of eye health. And then when a person comes for the evaluation, I'm really listening to them, listening to what they want. And then we do a battery of tests that involve visual skills, eye brain body connection, balance, and vestibular system. We talk about nutrition. And then we come up with a protocol with physical therapy, possibly color therapy, and people go off and they get to improve their vision.
So we're seeing an awful lot of vertigo. So is there a connection with the eyes and vertigo? I'm seeing an enormous amount of it lately, Dr. Berne.
So many years ago, when I was in practice in Philadelphia, I had a hard time getting patients. So I went to one of the local hospitals, outpatient, and I started working with people with vertigo, double vision, memory issues, and these were people that either had Meniere's disease or traumatic brain injury. And I learned about the relationship between our vestibular system, the inner ear, and our eyes, our visual system. And they go together really well.
No.
Who knew that?
We know about the ears, but who knew it was connected to the eyes? We seem to just disconnect from our eyes in some
We
respect.
do. And so it's either we disconnect from our eyes or we disconnect from the ears, or we get overly sensitized in the ear area, which can lead to vertigo. So through the physical therapy, craniosacral therapy, sometimes aromatherapy, We have really good success with people with vertigo or dizziness or double vision. I have a lady right now, very well-known author in Santa Fe, and she was getting a lot of dizziness, and I gave her these special prisms called Yoked prisms, where both prisms are the same. And what they did is they moved the horizon line up to where her eyes need to look, because she was always looking down, and that's what created the vertigo double vision situation. She came in, she said, my vertigo's gone. I wear these glasses, I can write again. And so we've had a lot of success stories with vertigo. And of course, there are many reasons why we develop vertigo, and you have to look at all those. Sometimes parasites, obviously inflammation, trauma, toxicity, heavy metals. So there's a lot of things as a detective you have to find, but because the visual system is so connected to the vestibular system, they interplay with each other. When one is down, you work with the other. And again, in this hospital setting, I really got to see the full range of vertigo conditions, and so I know how to work with that.
Phenomenally interesting. Phenomenal. And would you say that vitamin A is still the most important vision vitamin?
Definitely. I'm seeing more and more
We're
people.
not getting enough of it.
We're not getting enough of it. We're not absorbing it. And, people are eating way too much processed foods. Go back to your farmer's market, and shop organically, locally, non-GMO. But vitamin A is essential for retina health, cornea, eyelid, people that suffer chronic dry eye or night blindness. This is another one that I've seen where they can't drive at night anymore, or the headlights are bothering them, or even something called light sensitivity, where people can't go outside without the blink reflex overtaking them. Check in with vitamin A, because you're probably not getting enough of it.
Interesting. And what about vitamin C?
Well, there have been some studies that connect vitamin C with cataract formation. So when you have low vitamin C, that's the collagen part of the lens of the eye. Also, floaters tend to increase if you don't get enough L-lysine and vitamin C. So it's essential for eye health as well.
And the lutein and zeaxanthin, are you a big believer?
Totally, for macular health and lens health. That's where you get those red, orange, yellow, green vegetables. So lutein and zeaxanthin are the plant carotenoids, and astaxanthin is the marine carotenoid. So you want to take all of those. If we were going to do a dosage, I would say 16 milligrams a day of lutein, 4 to 6 milligrams a day of zeaxanthin, 4 to 6 milligrams of astaxanthin per day. If you've
Those are
got
not big amounts.
Well, and they're not, but it's the regular amounts, because what they act as like a filter that protects your maculas against oxidative stress and blue light, and overexposure of ultraviolet light. And by the way, if you've had cataract surgery, you don't have the natural blue blocker in that lens that you have in the original lens that you're born with. So you need to take care of using something to block the damaging blue light. Too many people with cataract surgery a year later get macular degeneration because they weren't told that the new intraocular lens put in the eye doesn't have a blue blocking material in it. And so I've been really educating post-cataract people to take those carotenoids and also wear some kind of blue protection.
How interesting. Are there many behavioral holistic optometrists in the country like you?
Like me? No.
Like you or not like you?
Not like me, but
You're
there,
one, no, I know you're one in a million, but I mean, is
but
it a growing field?
I don't know that it's a growing field. I would say it's a static field that, there are people who do some semblance of this. I have a hard time referring because I just don't know if they're doing the depth that I'm doing. But here's an organization you can certainly look up, www.covd.org. That's a group of behavioral optometrists, and you could certainly Google that and see if you can find somebody in your local area.
Now, I am reading your CV again, and you are the author of 4 books. The latest one is Vital Vision, clear-eyed solutions for midlife and beyond. Tell me what you talk about in Vital Vision.
Well, it's my newest material. It's interesting about the book. I wrote it based on the most number of questions I got on social media. So the number one, the most popular subject that people wanted to know about was floaters and how to get rid of them. So that was chapter 1. Chapter 2 was how do I get rid of cataracts. Chapter 3 was macular degeneration.
All the questions I'm asking you.
Yes, that's what Vital Vision is. I go into a lot of depth. I talk about color and light therapy, nutrition, but I give some really great information on, what do you do with these floaters because they're so disturbing. Again, it's a collagen imbalance in the vitreous, the gel sac, and one of the processes that I've learned about that creates floaters is the glycation process, where the glucose molecule likes to attach itself to the protein molecule, and the vitreous is made up of mostly protein and water. So once that glucose molecule attaches itself to the protein molecule, you're getting floaters, and there's a collagen imbalance. Either the vitreous is too dry or it's too wet. It also could be related to poor dentistry, it could be trauma, drying out based on blue light issues, vitamin C deficiency. A lot of reasons why we develop floaters, but anyways, those are some of the topics I talk about in Vital Vision, and you can get it ebook or hard copy on Amazon, so it's all there for you.
So what are the other secrets to reducing eye stress? Are there any mind-body approaches we should be aware of?
Well, believe it or not, if you do wear glasses, only wear them when you need them. Take them off in non-demanding and non-threatening situations. Improve your lymphatic health. If you have a healthy lymph system, you're going to have good eye circulation. And number 3, I would say practice this exercise called the palm hum. It's where you rub your hands together for about 10 seconds. You cup the palms of your hands over your eyes. You breathe in through your nose, and on the exhale, keep your mouth closed, and you make a humming sound, audible humming. That vibration is going to open up the circulation in the face and the eyes. If you do 10 of those hums, you do it 3 times a day, you're going to reset your eyes and your nervous system to have much more relaxation, much more eye clarity. And that's a self-regulation practice that I highly recommend. Number 4 is make sure you get out into the sunlight in the morning. Studies have shown when you get morning sunlight, you have less chance of becoming nearsighted. Also, your circadian rhythms are going to be more in balance, and you're getting the healthy blue light from the sun that we need. Don't be afraid of the sun. Get out there in the morning and get that natural sunlight, and that will be really great for your eyes. So those are some of the things. Another one would be eat a rainbow diet of vegetables. If you can do berries, that's also very helpful. And eat a clean diet, non-GMO, organic, like you speak about, healthy fats and oils, and reduce your stress.
You talk about looking through a prism. Can you explain that a little bit to my listeners?
Well, in a regular prism, the doctor is prescribing it for one eye, and the metaphor would be it's like a crutch. So it's treating a symptom, it's trying to control your eyes in one little area of being able to focus. The prisms I use are called Yoked prisms, Y-O-K-E-D. And these are prisms that change the spatial experience, where either they expand your peripheral vision, they move the vision more to your left eye or to your right eye, and it's an exercise tool that increases your spatial IQ. So it's a therapeutically driven tool that improves your vision. It's not making it weaker, it's not a crutch, it's a vision exercise technique that can help people that either have double vision or deteriorating eyesight. Recently I worked with a guy who had a stroke and he lost some of his vision in his right eye. So I gave him a prism called base left, which moves things into the blind spot of the right eye. So it gave him more of his right peripheral vision again, and he could drive. He said, like, my midline is more organized. So there's a lot of ways that you can use these Yoked prisms to take a person's vision and expand it.
So, with everything that you're saying, body, mind, and spirit, what do you see as the most deficient element that is affecting people's health?
That's affecting people's health.
Health
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I think it's our mental health and our curiosity, our ability to get out into nature and move your body, either in a dance class or exercise. Cultivate your relationships better. There's a funny thing that happens with your eyes. We have an exercise called eye dialogue. And in Chinese medicine, the right eye is the father eye, the masculine energy, left brain, which is our rational brain, and the left eye is the feminine, intuitive mother, and it's the right brain, our intuitive, creative. And we do an exercise where we have you patch the left eye and you dialogue, talk to the right eye. And one of the questions we ask is, right eye, do you know you're married to the left eye? And for a lot of people, they'll say, I had no idea that my eyes were married. Or they'll say, we're married, but we sleep in separate bedrooms.
Oh my God.
And so that is a telltale sign that our inner vision, we don't have that sacred marriage inside of us. So we're projecting that marriage difficulty out into the world. And we know vision is part projection. And so the more we understand our inner vision, the more we get our outer seeing. That's part of the relationship thing. And I was talking to a colleague the other day, and I said, I can evaluate a child's eyes, and whatever the child is reflecting to me in terms of their vision, it tells me what the relationship is to their parents. And then what the parents' relationship is with each other, like what their marriage is like between the right eye and left eye. Because our eyes are like a videotape library, and we absorb and internalize through the tissue all those experiences, especially when you're young, and a lot of times we don't know what to do with it. So that's another reason why our eyes let us down, because we're internalizing all this energy, and then we have no place to express it. We get glasses or contacts as an adaptive response to blurriness, so we never get to process what we see. And so in part of our work is helping people express that, and then their eyesight clears up. They don't need their glasses or contacts anymore. I mean, I know it sounds miraculous, but this is the process that people go through in healing their eyes.
Is it healthier to wear glasses or contacts? Is there a downside to contacts? I want to ask you that.
So with contacts, the pros of it are great for sports, great for physical activity. You don't have anything impeding you to see, better depth perception. But the downside of it is, if you want to improve your vision, you get very unconscious because the contacts are just on. You can't take them off as easily. So your eyes just kind of get set in that position. The other thing I'm going to say is that if you're nearsighted and you wear contacts for distance, when you hit that 40 age level, if the contacts are a little too strong for distance, you're going to go into what we call presbyopia, where you're going to need reading glasses. So the technique is you go to your doctor and say, hey, can you undercorrect me just a little bit for distance, and then you keep your reading. And when I say undercorrect, instead of 2015, you see 2020. And so that's a technique that you can use if you do wear contacts. But see, contacts are prescribed for 20 feet, and if you use them for computer and reading, your eyes are going to get worse. So you need to be very careful about wearing something too powerful for distance.
How interesting. As we close out the podcast, can you share some remarkable recoveries of people?
Well, the main one was me, because I was very nearsighted and I had a learning disability when I was a child. I became very nearsighted, and I met a developmental behavioral optometrist after I graduated optometry school. I completely reversed my nearsightedness 100%, and my learning problem went away. And so I went through his name was Dr. Albert A. Shankman, and went through his physical therapy program and healed my eyes, and that's how I got into this. I have a man right now who was diagnosed with wet macular degeneration, a dairy farmer from Taos, New Mexico, getting injections every month for 4 years, and he just came to see me. He's been off the injections 2 years. His glasses have reduced the prescription. He's seeing more clearly. He's in his 70s, so he's driving, he's working, he's really happy. This lady I talked about, she came to see me when she was 81 and had cataracts. We did a protocol and she completely dissolved the cataracts. She still comes to see me every week. She's 85, she's in a wheelchair, but she loves coming and she wants to stave off things like dementia and Alzheimer's. So we were working on, on that level, but the cataracts are gone and she's only using reading glasses, no more distance progressive lenses. So those are a few cases, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have classes for optometrists that want to learn your methodology?
Well, right now, I just have my website. I have a membership that you can join, and you'll get, material content that you don't see anywhere else. I haven't really done any formalized classes for doctors, although, every now and then someone will come to see me and I'll do some mentoring. So we'll just see. My attitude is I let it come to me. So if a group of doctors, showed up and said, we want to learn your methods, then I would gladly do it. But it's not something I'm seeking out right now.
If people want to be in touch with you, how do they do so?
Just go to my website, drsamberne.com, www, or you can email us at appointments@drsamberne.com. And again, you can go on all my social media sites, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I've got tons of free content on there. I have a podcast, Eyeclarity podcast, so lots of different episodes on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you can find it.